Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Turn 3 Racing Network. Tonight, bringing you all the stars from Racing for a Cause, live right here from Southern National Motorsports Park. And the weather couldn't be better. This 0.35 miles track getting set to bring on 21 drivers. Super late model action tonight, brought to you by Chris Stump and the Stump Mullet 125. Have I got something special for you? I've got, well, a good friend of mine. He happens to do some local track announcing. He goes by ACT announcer. It's Aaron Maynard.
Thank you very much, Chris. It is great to be here. Just as you alluded to, this is not quite a third mile, not quite a 3/8 mile, nestled right in between at 0.35 miles. It's 151 feet above sea level here at Southern National, and there's two ways to skin this cat. Hook the car on the bottom of the racetrack or run about 3.5 feet off that white line around the bottom of the racetrack and make some serious time. Kevin Dillon's currently leading the practice speeds. He clocked around at a 14.10. That was the quickest lap run down by anybody so far today.
Aaron, I know this is your first time here with the Racing for a Cause guys, and I'm glad to have you up here in the booth. I really do appreciate you coming out, helping me out here a little bit. And gotta say, I'm pretty excited for this one. I'm going to bring up this again because it does show the top 10 in points. Brian Hacker, Jeff Dillon, Justin Rigsby, J Mac Jr., Al Smith Jr., Bill Martin, AJ Hamill, Rex Hoyle, Andy Lambert, and Kevin Dillon. Your top 10 here in points. Last week's victor does not seem to be on the track, and that could be huge for everybody here as Bill Martin now is a no-show here tonight, and that's going to open up the door for everybody else. Bill Martin, when he's on track. Oh, he is on track. Oh, shoot. Look at that. He's the number 39. I just saw his name.
Yeah, he snuck right in here at the last minute. I mean, I've been watching the practice speeds for the last 15 or 20 minutes, and he wasn't here. And then as soon as you talk about him not being here, he does his normal thing, shows up with about 2 or so minutes left in practice, throws down some quick times, finds his way to the top 5, and says, hey, I'm here, guys.
So Bill Martin, one of those guys to watch out for. Remember, tonight there is no qualifying. The grid already set based on last week's race. Top 10 get inverted, and then everybody else starts where they finished. Anybody who didn't race last week falls to the tail end of the line. Right now, James Sonke looks like he has turned a lap, but shooting shotgun here in the post-race speed. He is running 21st and sitting on pit road right now.
And yeah, I had a chance to talk to a couple of the competitors earlier today, and they really seem to like this invert the top 10 finishers from last week for your top 10 starting position. So 10th place finisher last week starts on the pole, and 9th place will start second, kind of sorts out from there on back, and then you just throw in the 11th place finisher will start 11th, and they said it works really good. It kind of keeps the guys that are grouped speed-wise together that can race, you know, comfortably with each other, all right together, cuts down on caution flags throughout the course of the event. And we're here at Southern National getting ready to go racing for the Stump the Mullet 125 here with the Racing for a Cause Super Late Model Series.
I have to play this. And we're back ready to roll. We got the grid on the screen here for tonight. Taking the pole tonight going to be Rex Hoyle out of Carolina and his number 54.
Outside row number 1, car number 2, it'll be Justin Rigsby in the 99 automobile. He'll be starting in position number 2. Third place will be Andy Lambert in car number 72. Outside him will be AJ Hamill, the Arts Barbershop, car number 18.
And after AJ Hamill, we've got the 11 of Brian Hacker. He comes in leading the way in points. Smith Racing Inc.'s number 11 going to be starting in 5th spot. Al Smith Jr. going to be starting to his outside in the number 96. Starting in the 7th position, it's going to be Kevin Dillon with Jimmy McIntyre Jr. in the 81 to his outside.
5 rows back on the inside, car number 39. That's Bill Martin, the Dr. Noise Racing automobile, and outside of him will be Zach Coyer in car 13. 11th starting position, Mike Holtzclaw in car 22, and outside him will be Wayne McDuff III in car number 1.
And just like that, we go racing.
Green flag is in the air. Rex Hoyle will take the lead into turn number 1. On the outside, Rigsby in the 99 tries to settle that car down in the line after he gets a little bit of help from behind from the Arts Barbershop car 18 of A.J. Hamill. He's into the 3rd position. 4th place right now is car number 96. That's Al Smith Jr. He's getting a little bit of pressure from behind as he tries to keep that car pinned on the bottom. You don't want to leave the inside lane wide open here at Southern Nationals. We've got some too wide racing behind him. You've got the number 26 car, that's Dillon, working the bottom of the racetrack, getting around McIntyre in car 81 as they go down the back straightaway. Inside lane, definitely the place to be. Driver to watch early on in this one is that 39. Bill Martin, that Chris alluded to in the pre-race. He's marching his way towards the front. Winner 1 week ago, trying to climb up through the point standings. And right now, he is currently moving his way towards the front, working all over the back bumper of the Kevin Dillon car. See some daylight down to the bottom of the racetrack here early on in the Stump the Mullet 125. And he's going to move himself up the ladder 1 more position. Next car in his hit parade is going to be that white and green, number 96 for Al Smith Jr. as they try to get the top 10 here sorted out early on in this one. Andy Lambert has dropped out of the top 10 after starting in the 3rd position. He has fallen towards the back. The 11 car right now holding strong right in front of the Al Smith automobile, as that's the 4th position, currently being occupied by point leader Brian Hacker in car 11. He runs right behind A.J. Hamill as Rex Hoyle right now tries to play hide the peanut at the front of the pack. He's pulled ahead by 1.7 seconds at the front of the pack, and that white number 54, he's actually beginning to close himself in on some lap traffic early on in this one. He's setting the pace. Rex Hoyle from the pole position. Justin Rigsby runs right behind him in 2nd. 3rd place, A.J. Hamill. He's putting some pressure on now. Rigsby slid a little bit high that time through turns 1 and 2. A.J. Hamill put the headlight down to the inside lane, trying to find some bite down there, but the Arts Barbershop automobile couldn't find any daylight. He'll run on the rear bumper right now as they go back around, clicking laps off as they work their way down the back straightaway. We have 11 laps worked through in this one. And Bill Martin right now is beginning to move his way towards the front in that 39. He's dispatched the 96 of Al Smith Jr. Now he's working on Brian Hacker's number 11 as he's trying to creep his way into the top 4. He's got himself up to the 5th position in the 39. Started 9th on the grid. A little bit of spark showing off the 18 of Hamill. He brushed the wall down the back straightaway. Pressure's beginning to mount inside of the top 5 as everybody's kind of bottled up right now behind that Justin Rigsby car. As Rex Hoyle moves away from them, he's worked his way into lap traffic. You can see him now just at the corner of your screen beginning to navigate around some cars as there was a little bit of smoke down the front straightaway right there. That's Andy Lambert, 3rd place starter, going a lap down early in this one. Just 14 laps into the Stump the Mullet 125. We're not even a quarter of the way into this event, and Andy Lambert is trying to hang on to the lead lap as Rex Hoyle works right behind him. Oh, the Stump the Mullet sponsor, Chris Stump, is off the racetrack. So a tough break for our event sponsor for the day. Chris Stump has brought his car off of the racing surface. He's on a pit road to the attention of his crew, and that's a tough break for him early on in this one. 16 laps have been completed as Lambert continues to try to fight to stay on the lead lap for that number 72. His fight will be in vain as Rex Hoyle will take the Ford Power to the inside lane and put him a lap down. But while he was trying to negotiate around that lap car, Justin Rigsby has eaten into the lead almost by half. It's down to 0.6 seconds at the front of the pack right now. But now Rigsby is going to have to try to go to work around Andy Lambert. A.J. Hamill, who was right on the rear decklet of the 99 car earlier, and this one has lost a little bit of ground there as he's trying to have to play a little bit of defense right now with the point leader. Some of the big guns in this series have lined up right on his rear bumper as we've got 19 laps now clipped away in the Racing for a Cause Stump the Mullet 125. Rex Hoyle with a lap car between himself. Oh no, the lap car has evaporated. Rex Hoyle is now into clear racetrack, and he continues to hang on to that 0.9 second lead, showing the way here at Southern National Speedway. Trying to set a good pace here. No caution so far through 20 laps. Everyone feeling out the Southern National Speedway. They had just about an hour of practice before the event started, so everyone has felt out the racetrack. They know what they need, and they are racing each other quite respectively right now here. That's the motto of the Racing for a Cause crew. And Justin Rigsby, who started on the started in the second position, has held on to that position since the beginning of this race. But again, the Arts Barbershop 18 of AJ Hamel has reeled in second position as Hacker in the 11 and Martin in the 39 continue to battle. Fourth and fifth on the racetrack. Al Smith in the 96 rides in the sixth position. Seventh is Kevin Dillon, Jimmy McIntyre, Zach Boyer, Colin Phillip, and Mike Holtzclaw in a car 22. All having a pretty good showing right now at the front of the pack. Not trying to use up too much. Closing in, yep, when we completed 25 laps now, so we have 100 laps to go here in the Stump the Mullet. 1-25, and so far the name of this game has been Rex Hoyle Shows the Way, and he is maintaining a pretty good gap right now over Justin Rigsby's black and blue automobile. That's the 99 car running in the second position. AJ Hamel out of New York in the number 18, the Arts Barbershop car, riding in third. He's been playing around a little bit on the racetrack. You can see him kind of running up a little bit in the middle. He'll run down a little bit on corner exit, just trying to find anything he can to get some bite. And a driver that's found some bite is Bill Martin in car 39. He comes around the bottom of the racetrack, gets by point leader Hacker in a car number 11. So now move the 39 into the fourth position. And the days may be numbered now for Rigsby because AJ Hamel senses it to be time to go. He'll cut to the bottom of the racetrack through turns 3 and 4. Drag race back down to the start finish line. And we've got a new runner-up. It's AJ Hamel. And the barn door is kicked wide open. Here comes Bill Martin. Martin is through on the bottom in the 39. Here comes Hacker in car 11. The Al Smith Jr. 96 will circulate the bottom of the racetrack, trying to keep that door open as well. And then you'll have that number 26 car trying to drive through as well. So right now, the man getting the shuffle, the bumps rush, if you will, in that outside lane was former second place runner Justin Rigsby in the number 99. He gave up a handful of positions right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars got by just by leaving that inside lane ever so slightly open. He goes from the number 6 position, or goes from the number 2 position back 6th, back 6 more spots to the 7th spot. So tough break for Rigsby in car 99. He goes from 2nd to 7th, and now the pressure is on the 18 of AJ Hamel as he tries to hold off Bill Martin and save enough car for the end of this race, because we are a long way from finished. Not even close to the halfway mark in this one yet. And he's also going to track down Rex Hoyle, the race leader, the ATD car 54, who again is circulating around to find us some more lap traffic. That lap traffic was a little bit tail happy in front of Rex Hoyle. He'll tiptoe right now through the tulips as he tries to find out. He's got plenty of a big lead right now over AJ Hamel, who still holds on to that second position. So he can use his head, he can race smart and find the line around that locked automobile. He'll finally find the lane down to the bottom. He gets by Lydell in car number 80. And now he can set sail again with open racetrack as the rest of the leaders will close in on lap traffic. Hamel still holding on to the runner-up position in car 18. Martin runs right behind him. A couple of cars down the back straightaway that time scuffed the wall. And that's what happens as the tires start to go away here at Southern National. You slide higher and higher on corner exit when you try to pick the gas up earlier in the middle of the corner, and the car just runs higher and higher. And eventually you start brushing the wall on the back straightaway. And you brush that wall too hard on the back straightaway and it can end your night in a hurry, especially in these super late models. Continuing to have no problems at the front of the pack is Rex Hoyle. AJ Hamel rides into the number 2 spot in car 18. He got around that locked automobile of Lydell quite quickly. Bill Martin rides right behind him in car 39. Brian Hacker, Al Smith Jr. in a car number 96. That is your top 5 right now as they run. And Al Smith Jr. got a little bit loose off a 2 that time and squirted it down the back straightaway, but now he's getting some pressure from behind the 26. putting the pressure to Al Smith Jr. That is Kevin Dillon. He'll cut around the bottom of the racetrack, and now he'll move himself up a spot. So Smith actually, who's more than brushed the wall in the back straightaway, you can see the right side of that automobile up in the right front tire area is all caved in, and then kind of pancaked down the right side back to the rear wheel opening as well. So we've got 41 on the board, and Al Smith, who had been marching towards the front of the 96, has scuffed the wall a couple of times with the right side of that race car. The handling may be going away. Kevin Dillon has inherited the 5th position in car number 26. And a rule for the Racing for a Cause series is you start the race with 4 tires on the race car, and those are the 4 tires that you run the race with. There is no tires in the pits for any of these guys to come down pit road, so if you use up your stuff here in the first half of this race, you're just going to have to ride it home for the second half, as the pressure is definitely beginning to boil for that 2nd position. Bill Smith in the number 39, or excuse me, Bill Martin in the car number 39 is putting the pressure all over A.J. Hamill's car number 18. Hamill, who's fresh off running in the Decaf Coffee League in the Nitro Series, coming over here to the Racing for a Cause series. Right now running in the number 2 position, trying to hold off Bill Martin, but Martin's got the fender in this time, headed for turn 3. And on the bottom of the racetrack, let's see if Bill Martin can hold that car down. They will be across the stripe that time, with A.J. Hamill with the spot. By the time they got to turn number 1, Bill Martin has come through on the bottom, and Brian Hacker tried to keep the door open that time in 1 and 2, but A.J. Hamill was wise to that move, and he pinned that car back to the bottom of the racetrack. As we've got 48 laps on the board, and we're seeing right now the cream kind of rise to the top. Bill Martin has got himself 2nd place, and now here comes Hacker, the point leader, looking for 3rd. They all chase Rex Hoyle, and as you can see on the ticker, the lead is beginning to shrink for Rex Hoyle. Bill Martin has gone to the whip. He has decided now, as we'll come around to complete lap number 50, that it is time to go. And Rex Hoyle's number 54 may have a day as laps numbered at the front of the pack in the number 54 automobile, as Bill Martin tries to track him down. A.J. Hamill still holding on to 3rd place, not by a lack of effort though from Brian Hacker. He's actually looked to the outside now a couple of times trying to get around A.J. Hamill. Battle for 3rd is pretty good. Hamill trying to hang on and have a good points day here in the Racing for a Cause series, as he sits firmly inside of the top 10 points in our series here. But right now he's holding off the point leader, Brian Hacker, as Rex Hoyle getting into some lap traffic again. And that may be the opening right now that Bill Martin needs in car number 39 to kind of close the gap, if you will. You can see right there a couple of car lengths vanished in the lead as they worked around the lap automobile car number 1. And Hoyle in the 54 continues to push on the gas pedal on a corner exit and try to drive away, but Bill Martin has set the hook and he is reeling them in. He'll click a little bit more off and a little bit more off, and now it's down to probably 5 car lengths at most right now. The lead for Rex Hoyle is Bill Martin, working here on lap number 56, is closing the gap for the race lead. A.J. Hamill still has that 3rd spot. Brian Hacker is still 4th. 5th is Kevin Dillon's 26. Right now, they kind of got bottled up behind that lap car. Al Smith is still running around in the 6th position. 7th is Jimmy McIntyre, hanging on to the 7th position. 8th is Zach Boyer. Justin Rigsby. Zach Cold Beer just been notified. That's Cold Beer Coyer. And at car number 13, they got Justin Rigsby. He started on the outside pole, ran in 2nd for the first 25 laps of this event. Trying to settle down now, holding off Mike Holtzclaw's car 22. Holtzclaw riding around into the number 22 automobile. Then you have Colin Phillip, the next car on the racetrack. Cars on the racetrack are beginning to dwindle their number, and cars that are still on the lead lap, as Rex Hoyle is setting a blistering pace. Next time around, he will complete lap number 60. So 60 laps have been complete. 63 will make it an official event. Of course, with the luxury of iRacing, we don't have to worry about rain, as we've got a battle for the lead. Down low from 9th on the grid, Bill Martin, new race leader. And the number 39 goes to the top spot here on a lap number 61. So it didn't take him to halfway to get from 9th up to the front, passing the top 10 finishers from 1 week ago. Martin in the 39 will cut down around and put a lap on the 44 automobile. And let's see how hard he pushes it now for the remainder of this event. How hard does he have to keep that car wound up, as A.J. Hamill has continued to hold off Brian Hacker's charges, as Bill Martin, who now can set sail. He has moved himself to the front of the pack, and he is ready to go. 64 are on the board. We are more than halfway through this event, and Bill Martin has quickly built up almost a second lead right now over Rex Oil, who rides in the number 2 position. A.J. Hamill still has third. He was able to hold off the charge from Brian Hacker, and Hacker now has actually gapped himself back a little bit. He was all over the rear bumper of the Arts Barbershop car, but now is struggling to keep pace with A.J. Hamill in car number 18. And the 26 of Kevin Dillon is there as well, as now there may be some pressure for the 4th position. 26 Dillon stalking the back bumper of Brian Hacker in car number 11. He, as we have mentioned a couple of times on this broadcast, is the point leader in the Super Late Model Series, the Racing for a Cause people. Ladies and gentlemen, Bill Martin has picked up 8 positions. Right now, he is a +8 after starting 9th on the grid. He leads over Rex Oil. He was the pole sitter. He's down 1. Wayne McDuff's number 1 going another lap down. Actually, he's skunned the wall a couple of times into that exchange of going all lap down, and looks like he's going to bring the 1 car into pit road. Yes, he is. So Wayne McDuff brings his car to pit road after going a lap down, and Bill Martin continues to show the way here in this one. We've got 71 laps on the board, closing in on 72, as Bill Martin will come across the stripe and make it 72 laps. Colin Phillip in the 53 just went a lap down. Mark Fravert in the car 44, Fravert in the 44. Andy Lambert and Rob Lydell also out there on the racetrack. Just want to make sure we touched on everyone that was in the field for this event. Didn't want to leave anybody out as the race start kind of snuck up on us, as YouTube was being a bit of a pest at the beginning of this one, so we kind of missed our lineup. So I wanted to make sure we at least mentioned everybody out there once, as we've had a change now for the number 2 position. The Arts Barbershop, car number 18, who we thought was fading there around lap 40, has found what he needs. Maybe that was all he needed, was to cool the tires down a little bit, have a little bit of patience, as A.J. Hamill's now moved himself into the number 2 position. He has picked up 2 spots in this race. He started 4th on the grid, obviously. He picked up 3rd, and now he's moved himself into 2nd. Brian Hacker in the number 11, he's our point leader. He's driven down to the bottom on Rex Oil, so he's looking for the final spot on the podium early on in this one. And we're not really early on. We're working lap number 77, so we are kind of getting into the stretch drive of this one. A little bit of door contact there between Dillon and the 26 and the 54 Rex Oil. They rub numbers as they come by, and that'll move the 26 car now up into the 4th position and bump Rex Oil back to 5th. Al Smith Jr. in the 96, he started in the 6th position, and he currently runs in the 6th position. Jimmy McIntyre in car number 81. Zach Coyer, Colbeer Coyer in the 13 rides next. Mike Holtzclaw in car 22. Justin Rigsby's number 99. He was our outside pole sitter. He has lost 8 positions. He's got a handful of race car and slipping back. Travis Wright in the number 10. He's up 9 spots. So right now he's our biggest mover of this thing. Of course, by way of not running last week, I had to start him in the tail of the field. That's the way the lineup system works here for the Racing for a Cause series. So he's picked up 9, and right now as he works all over the back bumper of the Rigsby automobile, you're going to have to assume that's going to be a plus 10 here quickly, as he has closed in on Rigsby and has filled the rear view mirror. Behind Travis Wright, you got Jeff Stiles, the number 85. He is next on the grid. Currently working lap number 82. Then the 45, that is Justin Smith, the 32nd, and he is the first car 1 lap down. So the final car on the lead lap right now is the 85 of Stiles. And then we'll have the 45 of Justin Smith. Then you have Matthew Spinks in the car 35. That's the red and yellow 35 automobile right there. You see circulating around the speedway. Just ahead of them, a couple of spots, will be the 72 of Andy Lambert. He is multiple laps down in that number 72 car. Definitely not liking the handling here at Southern National. Not loving the way the car feels for him today. He started 3rd on the grid, but it has not been an up day. It's been all down for the number 72 car. As you can see, he's been one of those drivers that's kind of scraped against the wall on multiple occasions, as the right front fender area, that's going to have to need to be repaired for next week's event. And they'll probably have to reset the toe, to say the least. As Bill Martin continues to dominate after taking the lead away from Rex Hoyle, who has now dropped back out of the top 5. So Hoyle, the early race leader, and the 54 has slipped back to 6th, as we've got a new 5th place runner, and it's Al Smith Jr. in the number 96. The 96 Al Smith Jr. has the number 5 position, so he's into the 5th spot. 4th place is still Kevin Dillon in the 26. That position has not changed. Brian Hacker has moved himself into the 3rd position in the number 11 automobile. At one point in time, he was heavily pressuring the back of the A.J. Hamel automobile, but he is not doing that anymore, as A.J. Hamel, as you can see, has got himself about an 8-car length lead in the battle for the number 2 position. The Arts Barbershop Shelburne Limestone Corporation Ford Mustang rides in the number 2 spot. And everybody right now, as we work lap number 90 with 35 laps to go, well, 34 laps to go now, as lap 91 will go on the board. Everyone chases Bill Martin, who's in some pretty heavy lap traffic. A little bit of a dust-up right there. 3 wide, 4 wide right now in front of the leader. They've got the chains out right now. It is a Donnybrook right in front of the race leader, Bill Martin, who's got a 2-second gap. And he almost just found himself into the concrete. And he'll back up, lift a little bit, let those guys sort their fight out. Old cold beer. Coyer in the number 13, he goes a lap down. The 85 has managed to stay on the lead lap. That's Jeff Stiles. And he is still the final car on the lead lap. So Coyer backed up a little bit in the number 13 automobile, because he was a little bit up in the standings the last time we went down through the field, and now he slipped back down and gone a lap down. And now the 85 of Stiles will lose his spot on the lead lap. And that'll put our 2nd place runner early on in this event. Driver who started 2nd, held on to 2nd for the first 22 laps of this event. The number 99, Justin Rigsby, he is the final car on the lead lap, as Bill Martin scuffed the wall a little bit right there. He scraped against it down the back straightaway, but it didn't seem to slow that car down any, as we are putting lap number 96 up on the board. And Rigsby, who started 2nd on the outside of row number 1, is now 1 lap to the rears. So the field on the lead lap is really beginning to dwindle. Mike Holtzclaw's number 22 is going to be the final car on the lead lap. Right now, he's got a little bit of daylight between himself and Bill Martin, the race leader. I don't know if he has 26 or 27 laps of daylight. We'll see if he can hold off Bill Martin and stay on the lead lap, as Martin has just definitely put on a clinic in that number 39 automobile. After starting ninth, he waited until just before the halfway mark to take the lead, but since taking the lead, he has thought nothing of it, and he is just absolutely blistering the field. Hamill still second in the 18, nothing has changed there. Brian Hacker rides in third. The distance between second and third has shrunk a little bit, but I only think that's lap traffic, which is closing them together, as those drivers are having a pretty intense battle amongst themselves for position. So while they do have to give the leaders, or the cars on the lead lap, some respect, you can't expect them to just quit their race to let the lead lap cars go by and then resume their race. You can keep running your pace. The leaders caught you, they'll go by you. And that'll be the number 45 of Justin Smith, who's slipped up out of the way of AJ Hamill and has allowed the 18 car to come through. Now it will allow the number 90 and the number 9. That's not the 99. That is the 11 of Brian Hacker to come through. He goes around the bottom. And the 26 of Kevin Dillon. He's up 3 spots from where he started, having a pretty good run in that 26 automobile. He's rounding out the 4th position. And then the final car in the top 5 is the 96 of Al Smith Jr. Still on the lead lap for the time being right now is that number 22, Mike Holtzclaw. Holtzclaw, the 22. Oh, no, he is no longer on the lead lap. He is now 1 lap to the rears. So Martin in the number 39 as lap Holtzclaw, which definitely shrinks the field down. Travis Wright's number 10 is now the final car on the lead lap, as we are down under 20 laps to go. It'll be 18 to go when Bill Martin gets back to the stripe right there. Yep, 18 laps remaining now. 107 are on the board. Martin leads, and I'd have to say right now, barring a caution flag, that's going to be pretty much the way it shakes down, as he has a 3-second gap, almost 4-second gap over AJ Hamill. Hamill rides in second in the number 18 automobile. The Arts Barbershop having a great showing. Car number 18, the Ford Mustang, having a great run. Brian Hacker, the point leader, showing us why he's the point leader, because when you have a bad day, if your bad day ends up being 3rd place, then, you know, that's a pretty good way to stay in the championship hunt. The point leader sits in 3rd place. Kevin Dillon is 4th. 5th place is Al Smith in the number 96 out of New York. Rex Hoyle, the early race leader, led it to lap 62. That was as far as he was going to lead it. Right now, he's trying to hang on to that 6th position. 7th is Jimmy McIntyre's 81. 9th place, Travis Wright in car 10. Oh, no, that's 8th place. Yeah, 8th place is Travis Wright in car 10. And that is the final car on the lead lap right now. As Bill Smith is closing in on that one, as we have now lap 113 on the board, 125 the distance. That means there's 12 to go. It'll be 11 to go when they get to the stripe right there. So 11 laps remaining in this one. Hamill almost has lost a second since we talked about him last, and that was just about 3 laps ago. So the speed is not there for the 18 car to win this one, but Brian Hacker and the number 11, none of these drivers seem to have anything for Bill Martin. We're under 10 to go. 10 laps to go. That time from the flagman, there was 10 fingers in the air. Must be Plattsburgh, New York's chief starter Jason Lemoy was high atop the flag stand, showing him 10. As we are winding down in this one. Right now, I don't want to jinx it, but we're 8 laps away from going caution-free in the Racing for a Cause Stump the Mullet 125 here at Southern National, as Rex Hoyle in the 54 who dominated the first 62 laps of this event, has just surrendered his position on the lead lap. Hoyle backed up to the 8th spot and is now a lap down. So only 7 cars remaining on the lead lap as laps are winding down. Might be one of those situations where the 54X Hoyle pushed it too hard too early, as he had worked his way into a big lead early on in this one, but with no cautions to cool the tires. It's one of those risks that you take. If you never get a caution to slow the pace down and you go hard early, you lose in the end. And unfortunately for Rex Hoyle, he has lost 7 positions since the drop of the green flag in this one, as he rides in 8th spot. 9th place is Mike Holtzclaw's 22. Jeff Stiles, car number 85. That's the final car inside of the top 10. That is your top 10 runners as the laps are winding down in this one. 3-ish laps to go. Yes, I do say ish because I believe iRacing makes you finish lap 125, not start lap 125. And we've got another car fighting to stay on the lead lap. It's the 81 of Jimmy McIntyre, and it doesn't look like he's going to be able to do that. No fight at all for anybody right now. If Bill Martin gets to your rear bumper, that is the end of the story. Martin in the 39 cuts by there, and I believe, what's that? Final lap. Yes, white flag right there. Here we go. Off of the 4th corner, coming to the checkers. Bill Martin will let McIntyre back on the lead lap, and he will pick up the win in quite dominant fashion, as Bill Martin in the number 39 takes down the win. 2nd place is going to go to AJ Hamill. Brian Hacker, car number 11, comes home in 3rd. He's the point leader, having a pretty good points day. Comes home with the 3rd spot. Kevin Dillon was 4th in the 26. Al Smith Jr., Jimmy McIntyre, Travis Wright, Rex Hoyle, Mike Holtzclaw, Jeff Stiles, Zach Cold Beer Coyer, Justin Smith, Matthew Spinks, Justin Rigsby, Colin Phillip, Mark Farver, Andy Lambert, Rob Lydell, and James Somke. Into the number 01. That's positions up to 19.
And ladies and gentlemen, with that, we are going to step away for just a moment. We will be right back for post-race interviews. Don't you dare go away. You're watching us live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. It's Racing for a Cause, Super Late Models.
Simulated racing can be awesome.
We're back live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, and we are ready for some post-race interviews. Coming in third place tonight, it is the number 11 of Brian Hacker. Brian, Chris, and Aaron up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, I've got you guys.
Well, here you are, about a third place finish. Way to protect that championship run that you've got going. A third place, though, to second place, AJ Hamill. It didn't seem like you had the speed that we're accustomed to seeing. What was going on with the 11 car tonight?
This is just not my track, but that's all right. You know, honestly, to come in here and to get a third and no incidences and no yellows, I think is a win for us and the team. I'm just fine with a third. I probably couldn't have done much better there. So third's just good for tonight.
Well, third was pretty darn good, and the track seemed pretty racy tonight. Did you have a feeling that you could pass, or was it just another one of those stay on the bottom lane, get through it, get past them, waiting for a mistake? How was the car reacting here tonight?
No, I think you could pass. It was a little. I mean, it was fun to drive. It wasn't, it wasn't just stuck to the track. It was sliding in, sliding on exit. You really had to drive it tonight, which is fun. And I just couldn't find a rhythm. I was just talking to AJ and Bill after the race, and Bill was in a league of his own tonight, and AJ and I would I'd catch him and then I'd mess up for 10 laps and he'd get away from me and I'd catch him again. And I couldn't get that rhythm down tonight, but that's all right. We're going to one of my better tracks next week and hopefully we can find our way up front.
All right, Brian. And as always, who do you have to thank on that number 11 for the third place tonight?
Definitely got to thank Beagle Freedom Project on the Hood, Rescue Ranch, Carbon Junction, and my guy Drew for dialing in with us this evening. Narrative Coffee, as always, Pathfinder Chassis, the guys at Smith Racing Inc. Al had a solid top 5 finish. Everybody else did pretty well tonight. No yellows, no junk cars, so that's good news. Thanks to Andy for doing this. We gave him a night off, and you guys as well. We'll get you out of here early.
Yeah, we sure will. All right, Brian, thank you very much for stopping in here at Victory Lane, and we look forward to seeing you again next week.
Thanks, Chris.
That was Brian Hacker bringing it home in the third spot here tonight. Driver of the number 11, finishing in second spot, Aaron. I believe you caught up with the top 2 here, and we're going to get you to AJ Hamill.
You just drove away.
AJ.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations. You came home into the number 2 position early on. Bill got by you, and you kind of kept pace with him until he kind of broke free and then drove away. What did you need to do differently to find your way into the number 1 position tonight?
Yeah, Bill has a tendency of finding his way by us. He's really good at that. As soon as I saw him get by Brian, of course, my eyes were in the mirror and until I slipped up and made it through. Yeah, it's Bill. What are you going to do? I call this best of the rest, and I'm pretty stoked about it, being able to hold Brian off. And Brian and Kevin, there's no slouches there, so no shame in this runner-up silver position for me.
No, you definitely did. You did a pretty good job battling with the 11 car Hacker, the point leader, holding him at bay. He was moving around a little bit on the racetrack. I saw him kind of going up and down. And did you play around with your line at all that we didn't notice to try to make the car better?
Toward the end, I kind of stopped hugging the bottom, which I saw he was kind of doing that. I was worried because when you miss the bottom here, a lot of times you miss a lot of lap time. But it looked like at the end you could kind of run the half lane up, and I figured if I could do that, and I was still running the same lap times, even if he caught me, he wasn't going by. Probably should have tried it earlier, but I got to a point where I was just in don't make a mistake and you'll finish where you are mode.
All right. Well, you got some people you want to thank here today with a great second place finish.
Sure. Well, forgot to change my paint, so free advertising for Arts Barbershop in the last cut here and running the series on it. Well, you don't know that Art retired on October 21st. Officially, the last cut is done. And what else we got? We got our SLC, and I guess I should get my causes because I forgot to change my paint. So Center for Whale Research, emptythetanks.org. And hey, thank you for jumping in here and doing a little eye broadcasting. I feel like I'm standing out at the road getting an interview.
Well, we had to break. I got 2 months that I'd never announced a race in before, November and December. So we've checked November off the list, and I guess we'll see what happens in December. Congratulations on a great second place finish.
All right, thanks.
Right on.
And here we go. We've got our winner. He took the lead on lap number 62 after starting 9th on the grid. Bill Martin, nobody here had anything for you at all today. You dominated the second half of this race.
Thanks for noticing.
You just got a knack about getting around these racetracks. I've raced with you online, and yeah, you are one of the class acts, and just showing everybody right now how to get it done.
We've raced before. Who the heck are you?
Some random guy ran that, nitro coffee cup thing or whatever.
All right. Well, it's good to talk to you. Random nitro guy. No name.
Yeah, Aaron Maynard.
Oh, Aaron. Hi. How are you doing?
Oh yeah, it wasn't all big fanfare to broadcast this the super secret broadcaster. I'm doing pretty well. It was a pretty good race. You guys, no cautions or anything. That was a good race. Everybody seemed to be pretty respectful.
Yeah, I was happy about that. I think as we were getting towards the end, I didn't have anybody to follow, and I started using my right front tire up a little more than I would have liked to. So I'm kind of glad a yellow didn't come out, because I don't know, once everybody's tires would have cooled off, how I would have done with everybody back up behind me. So good thing it went green, because yeah, I wasn't necessarily holding back. I was trying to, but it wasn't working out very well once I got to where I was running by myself. I was a little too hard on the right front, despite the fact that I had, a gap like that. I think if everybody had gotten pulled back together, it wouldn't have looked as good.
Nope, definitely those guys, especially AJ right behind you, and the number 11 hacker. Those guys can put a couple laps together. If it had been a short run at the end, it might have been a little bit exciting for you. There was a couple times in lap traffic where it almost got a little hairy for you as well when you were lapping by old Colby or Coyer.
Yeah, those guys were getting racy, so I had to bail a couple of times. So luckily the lead I had was there so that I could go, all right, let's just back off for a full second here and see what happens.
You got some people you want to thank today?
I want to thank you, and only you, for everything.
Well, I like that, but I think there's probably some people in your car that want to be thanked too.
Are any of them real? NARF is probably the only one that I'm taking seriously, because the rest are either my sponsorships or television sponsorships, like TV shows. So yeah, donate to the NARF, the Native American Rights Fund, which helps Native Americans ensure that they get the rights that they deserve that have been given to them by the U.S. government.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. We got a jam-packed, COVID-free crowd here on iRacing at Southern National Speedway. Let your winner hear it. Bill Martin, the winner here for the Racing for a Cause Stump Mullet 125. Chris, back up to you, bud.
Well, that's going to do it for us here tonight. Bill Martin with another solid victory. And man, who can stop the 39 when he shows up? It seems like he wins. Brian Hacker, just a little notch just out of the championship run there, but still a ways to go. This is race number 9. Tune in next week for race number 10. It is going to be off the hook. We know Bill Martin going to be starting in the 10th spot. And for Turn 3 Racing Network and Aaron Maynard, I want to thank everybody for tuning in here tonight. We really do hope you appreciate like the show, and easy for me to say at this point in the night. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you, and we will see you again next time right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network.
Yeah.